It's changing. Check back with us 2, 3, 4 times a day and stay connected.
The News Watch never stops. This is 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good morning. Look at all that sunshine. 67 degrees at 9:40 on this Sunday, June 16th. I'm Brian Britton. Here's what's happening. 2 people in their 70s recovering after being shot in a park in Brownsville, Brooklyn last night. 2 mass shootings Saturday, one at a playground in Michigan where an 8-year-old boy is in critical condition, and another shooting left 2 dead at a Juneteenth festival in Texas. Summer officially rolling in this week. It's coming in fierce and hot, too. Dangerous heat wave is on the way. The Israeli military beginning a daily tactical pause in its offensive in the southern Gaza Strip to allow humanitarian aid to enter. And art meets music at the New York City Electroacoustic Music Festival. That gets underway today in NoHo. Mets win, Yankees lose, Oilers trounce, and the Panthers going to need a Game 5 in the Stanley Cup Finals. AccuWeather looks great ahead of the heat wave. Today is stellar, mostly sunny, low humidity, and a high of 78. Wins News Time, 9:41. Traffic and transit, here is Sue Aller.
All right, we're starting a bunch up now, especially in Staten Island, southbound side of the West Shore Expressway. It looks like we have a crash right at South Avenue. And then in Brooklyn, the westbound side of the Bell Parkway, that's starting to bunch up right around the Verrazano Bridge. You're also busy both ways on the BQE at Atlantic Avenue, and we'll take it over to Queens, where it looks like we could have an accident now on the eastbound side of the LIE right around Utopia Parkway. Everyone's just really slowing down right here, so you definitely want to avoid this. Go with the Grand Central, which is looking pretty good at the moment. Just some pockets of volume southbound side of the Cross Island Parkway as you make your way towards the LIE and northbound towards the Throgs Neck Bridge. But the Throgs Neck Bridge looks really good. So does the Whitestone Bridge. Here's what you need to know about the rest of the bridges and tunnels. Are you doing great at the George Washington Bridge? No more than 5 minutes at the inbound side of the Lincoln Tunnel. The Holland Tunnel also looks really good at the moment. I'm not seeing any kind of slowdowns or delays on the Verrazano Bridge either. You're looking pretty good. And if you're heading towards the Jersey Shore, the Garden State Parkway southbound looks pretty good. So does the Meadowbrook and the Wantar Parkways as you head towards Jones Beach. I'm Sue Aller. Next report at 9:51. 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
A shooting in a park in Brownsville, Brooklyn last night. The victims, a 71-year-old woman and a man who is 77.
Today, Livonia Park has lots of pigeons and tweeting birds. The only sign there might have been a party was the large black garbage bags filled with debris. There's yellow police tape where the shooting occurred. A 71-year-old woman was shot twice, once in the leg and once in the torso. A 77-year-old man was shot in the left leg. Both are stable at Brookdale Hospital. William Wright has lived in this neighborhood all his life. He said the shootings are on the rise.
What goes through my mind is that you can't come out of your house anymore. You can't enjoy yourself where you live at. You know what's going to happen. Around the corner, just sitting around.
There's no indication what led to the shooting. There are no arrests. Carol Diori at 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM on Livonia Avenue in Brownsville.
A bloody weekend across the U.S. 2 mass shootings. 2 people are dead, multiple others injured after a shooting at a Juneteenth concert in Texas. Round Rock Police Chief Alan Banks.
It is unfortunate that we're here celebrating a wonderful event and we have a tragedy that happens. My thoughts, my prayers go out to our victims. My condolences go out to the families of the deceased.
Banks says 2 groups began fighting before somebody pulled out a gun and started shooting. 2 people dead. They are believed to be innocent bystanders. The FBI also on the scene there. And in Michigan, another mass shooting at the site of a children's playground.
Under no circumstances is it normal for ice cream cones and flip-flops to be strewn amongst blood and bullet casing.
Congressman John James there. Families were cooling off at a splash pad in the late afternoon. Cops do confirm 9 gunshot victims.
Multiple shell case markers at the Brookland Splash Pad, a popular water park in Rochester Hills. Oakland County Sheriff Michael Bouchard says the shooting appears to be the act of a lone gunman.
The individual pulled up, exited a vehicle, approached the splash pad, opened fire, reloaded, opened fire, reloaded, left.
Authorities say a semi-automatic handgun and 3 magazines were found at the scene. Derek Dennis, ABC News, New York.
The shooter is also dead. Police say he drove home after shooting up the playground and shot himself in the head. At this point, police have not determined any motive. We're looking at our first heat wave of the season. We'll take a check with AccuWeather in just a bit. That heat wave coming on Wednesday. Carl Erickson standing by. But first, let's take a look at sports. Get you an update here with Pete McCarthy.
Well, what better way to close out Father's Day than with a little historic rivalry?
The Yankees and Red Sox going at it at Fenway. This will be a rubber game after the Yanks lost last night. Juan Soto is enjoying his first taste of Yanks Sox.
You have Yankee fans all over the field and Red Sox fans, so it's been really nice. And besides that, it's just the team that we're facing, they have a pretty good lineup, I think, and very good bullpen starters. So,
courtesy of Yes, Soto did homer last night. Marcus Stroman making the start tonight for the Yanks. You can hear the live play-by-play on WFAN starting a bit after 7 o'clock. The suddenly hot Mets will be trying for a sweep of the Padres. Francisco Lindor on their 4-game winning streak.
Right now, we're riding a good wave. Ride it as long as we can, and then find a new wave after.
Courtesy of SNY, the Mets are also 10-4 since a players-only meeting. Tough task today as they take on Padres pitcher Dylan Cease. WCBS 880 will have the live play-by-play at 1:40. An off day for the NBA and NHL finals. Both the Celtics and Panthers will hope to lock down championships as they come home for Game 5s. The NBA, that'll be tomorrow night. The NHL, Tuesday night. We do have the final round of the U.S. Open on tap today. Bryson DeChambeau has been one of the few to tame Pinehurst number 2. DeChambeau entered today with a 3-stroke lead. Rory McIlroy among those within striking distance. Pete McCarthy, 1010 Wins Sports on 92.3 FM.
Petey Mac, thank you, sir. Wins News Time 9:47. Talking about that heat wave. It's coming on Wednesday. So far, though, we're looking great for the next couple of days at least.
Well, Brian, that nice weather will continue through the second half of this weekend, but the heat begins to build up tomorrow, more noticeable on Tuesday, when highs will be well up into the 80s, even some low 90s across the western Jersey suburbs. Then our first heat wave of the season begins on Wednesday with highs near 90. It looks like that 90-degree plus heat will be with us right through at least the first half of the weekend, and gradually easing probably into Sunday into early next week. In the meantime, expect those real field temperatures to top off near 100 degrees each of the next several afternoons from Wednesday through Saturday.
AccuWeather's Carl Erickson there. Heat is really nothing to mess around with. Each summer, an estimated 350 New Yorkers die due to the heat. More Americans die from heat waves in 1 year than all other natural disasters combined. The city does have a website up to help you beat the heat. It's called nyc.gov/beattheheat. And that's where you get all the information you need, including locations of cooling centers. And, of course, we'll be on top of it with AccuWeather here, so stay with 1010 Wins. The Israeli military announcing this morning what they termed a tactical pause in its offensive in the southern Gaza Strip. This will allow deliveries of increased quantities of humanitarian aid. The military says the pauses are to take place every day during daylight hours until further notice, and will be coordinated with the UN and international aid agencies. We can call this one the art of the scam. Somebody filed fake deeds in New York City's registrar's office that says Ivanka Trump and Hillary Clinton were business partners in a $150 million real estate deal in Manhattan. Obviously, that's not true. However, the New York Post reports the deeds were accepted by the city register, even though they were not properly notarized. Now that it has been brought to light, the city finance department via a statement says they have been removed after being filed in error. Sean Diddy Combs no longer has the key to the city. He returned it after the key committee recommended nullifying the honor. Mayor Adams agreeing. He wrote a letter requesting the key be returned to City Hall. It did arrive back on June the 10th. Former President Donald Trump stumping yesterday in Michigan while demanding that President Biden take a cognitive test. He talked about the time he took one. He said he aced it. He also called his own doctor, now a congressman, the wrong name.
I took a cognitive test and I aced it. Dr. Ronnie Johnson. Does everyone know Ronnie Johnson, congressman from Texas? He was the White House doctor.
Not Ronnie Johnson, that would be Ronnie Jackson. Wins News Time 9:49. Traffic, transit, and AccuWeather next.
This 4th, we're throwing a 4 for the 4th celebration.